He dreams of a South Africa where all people and organizations are empowered and uplifted. He puts his thoughts and dreams into reality by continually striving to educate and empower himself as an individual. And this is evident if you look at his brief CV. He has studied extensively. Amongst others, he's got an MBA from De Montfort University in the UK and a PhD in Leadership, Performance and Change from the University of Johannesburg. He's an adjunct professor at the University of Capetown's Graduate School of Business, where he teaches strategy on a part-time basis. It's my privilege and my pleasure to welcome and call to the stage Reverend Dr. Vukili Charles Mahala.
The program director, all the distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your kind words. I promise you that I will try not to keep people longer than I'm expected. I am expected to keep you. With sensitivity to other faiths, when I was doing my daily devotions this morning, thinking about this brief talk, I read from the book of Proverbs, chapter 4. I read verse 5 to verse 8, which says, "Get wisdom and insight. Do not forget or ignore what I say. Do not abandon wisdom, and she will protect you. Love her, and she will keep you safe." Getting wisdom is the most important thing you can do. Whatever else you get insight. Love wisdom, and she will make you great. Embrace her, and she will bring you honor. She will be your crowning glory. Now, you do not have a Methodist minister standing in front of something like this with audience in front of them, which look like a congregation, and expect me to stop, especially after I've read some verses of the Bible. There's something says to me, let me preach it. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I feel very honored to come and stand in the place of the Honorable Doctor who was supposed to have addressed you. But it was said that it will be me who addresses you. Under the context of wisdom, I would like to share very few thoughts that come directly from me. I'm also reminded of my time when I did my own PhD, and I was listening with interest from the speakers who were doing the report back of the sessions. I took liberty to read the mission of the Department of Higher Education of this country. And I learned that this mission says it is to develop capable, well-educated and skilled citizens that are able to compete in a sustainable, diversified and knowledge-intensive way within the international economy, which meets the developmental goals of our country. And this is found in the strategic plan, revised vision of 2011 to 2015, published in March 2012. The Education and Training, Dr. Bladen Zimande, amongst other things, he has been tasked by the President of the country to be the coordinating minister of Outcomes 5 of government's 12 performance outcomes, namely, to deal with a skilled and capable workforce, that will support an inclusive growth path. Reading that, the fifth output of this outcome states that it is to increase research, development, and innovation in human capital for a growing knowledge economy, with a particular focus on postgraduate degrees, deepening industry and university partnerships, as well as increased investment into research and development and innovation, especially in the areas of science, engineering, and technology. After I read that, then I was reminded about some of the challenges which I believe are facing the world today, which challenges I think they are referred to as the Trinity of Transformation. And the word Trinity then resonated very well with me, because I understand fully what Trinity means. Notably, the international trends show that the world is facing a challenge of being transformed in many spheres of life, especially with regards to the following three areas of such transformation. The first one, the first person of the Trinity, that's what we call it. It's something called globalization. We are all faced with that reality, that the world is becoming global. The world is fast becoming accessible to each other. What was uniquely available to one part of the world is now easily available to the other, thus posing a challenge to the rigid methods of life. I'm sure there's extensive writing about this topic of globalization, but it is a reality that is facing us in every sphere of life. The second person is deregulation. Deregulation, we need to understand that as the world is becoming one, the regulatory framework and protections that we enjoyed in the past, which were sometimes barriers to entry into foreign economies and markets, these now are crumbling. And there are many protocols that are being entered into by various governments, by world, regional, and local bodies, as informed by the context I've just given. Given the world context, as briefly articulated above, that then calls for a conscientiously developed strategy of recruiting a cadre of students to do doctoral studies in as many disciplines as possible, especially in line with the national strategy direction as championed by the Department of Higher Education in our country. It should also be remembered that South African institutions of higher learning have a responsibility of not only producing graduates who are lower than PhDs, because it is my information that students who are studying up to master's level, they consume knowledge. They consume it from within or outside South Africa. The importance of producing PhDs is that you develop a cadre of intellectuals who, now note, don't consume knowledge, but they generate knowledge that can be exported to other parts of the world. Such intellectuals can be scholars who generate high levels of scholastic contribution, a body of knowledge that will positively influence the world and, more importantly, defend South Africa from being colonized by foreign academic influence. In one of the few years we were told that out of the total of 23 universities and technicons in that particular year, South Africa produced only 23 PhDs. Only 23. And that is very dangerous, because we will become a country which constantly consumes knowledge and be colonized by that foreign knowledge. Until we are able to do what you are doing now, to motivate more people to do PhDs, so that those people can generate this knowledge, which will be of service not only in South Africa but throughout the world, and make South Africa to be able to play its most important scholastic role in the League of Nations. You cannot be a country which in a year all universities produce less than 50 PhDs. That's very dangerous. We will forever be colonized. So I do want to motivate and encourage as many from as many disciplines as possible to do your PhDs, so that we can be also a country which contributes and export this knowledge for the benefit of the better world. It is my fervent belief and deep conviction that South Africa is full of men and women who have wonderful academic talents and gifts, including students sitting here in this room, that you are here to prepare yourself to be cadre of this most needed generator of knowledge for the benefit of our country and the world. I even want to say to you, if I regard myself not very clever, a little bit dumb, but if somebody like me could start his PhD at the beginning of 2007 on a part-time basis and finish it in May 2010, if I could do it, come on, you can do it. There's nothing stopping you. This requires a firm decision and dedication in one's part. You are capable of doing your PhD. Come on, go and do it. You can. Nothing can stop you on something that you have told yourself that you want. One of the most important things, I'm sure you must have been told by earlier speakers, that in doing PhD, the most important thing is discipline. If you lack discipline, you will never do it. And discipline is not nice. Discipline is not comfortable. Discipline can be painful. Discipline is a sacrifice. Discipline is to reprioritize what is important. Discipline is everything that will get you there. When I went to register, I said to the head of the department, I want you to be my supervisor. And he says, but Reverend, I said, never call me Reverend from now until I finish my PhD. Call me student. I'm your student and nothing else. Don't give me that, because it's going to make me to think that I'm better than you. And yet I want something that you have, I don't have. And then he said, will you subject yourself to my discipline? I said, by all means. He says, from next week until you graduate, every Tuesday from 7 o'clock in the morning until 8:30, you will be with me here. And I'll be giving you work to do. You give me no excuse. You bring my work. You agree? Yes. And you'll set aside 15 hours a week that you'll do your work and study. I don't care what you do, where and when, but you put aside that 15 hours a week. And I did that. And that was the only way that I was able to get through. Discipline, discipline, discipline. Also, respect for your supervisors. Never take your supervisor for granted. Remember, your supervisor has got it. You don't. And your supervisor is not interested in your personality or excuses. Your supervisor wants you to have a PhD, period. Don't please put aside your excuses, concentrate on your work, be disciplined, and respect the target and respect the timelines. There's no other way. It's not a magic. It is as easy as that. You subject yourself to the discipline, and you'll do it. I know it because I've done it. And if I can do it, as Mpepu said, if you did it, I can also do it. I know you can do it. My friends and my brothers and sisters, dream about this PhD. Dream about it. See it there. Dream you standing before that chancellor, putting over you that red gown and saying to you, congratulate to the Collegiate of Doctors. Dream it, see it. It's there, it's before you. And I know you can do it. Believe in it. For a moment, don't allow anybody nor any circumstance to say to you, you cannot do it. There's no such a thing like that. If you tell yourself that I'm going to do it, religiously believe in that. Tell yourself that I am going to be a doctor, come rain or shine. Say that to yourself, and God will uplift you. As you begin to say yourself, nothing will make me to pull back. Doesn't matter what kind of circumstances. I've got a dream to fulfill, and I believe it. And after you have dreamt about it, you have believed about it, go on, man, do it. It's in your hands. We want more PhDs. We cannot allow this country to be colonized intellectually. There's a bigger call for you. Please remember what Father Madiba once said in his inaugural speech of 10th May 1994. And he said, education is the most powerful weapon to change the world. You cannot find any other weapon. Education, education, and education. Go and do it. Dream it, believe it, and do it. God bless you.